This is the ultimate fracture guide for Omen. So before we start, big thank you to Riot to letting me actually play the map early with all the other content creators. This map is a little bit different for Omen. It's not your typical Omen map, but it is in the same way. Doesn't make sense, but you'll see. Everything's actually timestamped as well, so if you want to go to a specific site on how to attack or defend that specific site, you can just go there on a timestamp. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, remember to sub and leave a like. I'll see you guys in the video. Alright, so the map is pretty weird for Omen. It's a little bit different than what we've had previously for Omen. You know, like you can do the typical one-way smokes, and then sometimes you have to do the double smokes, and yeah, it's a bit weird. But this map is weird, but really good for Omen. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it. So we'll start off with A. So defending A. We've only got really 3 ways that they can come. It's the main hallway here, door, and drop. So the main smokes that you want to be doing, if you're just playing off of sight, I mean, it's simple. You want to be doing this smoke, I feel, is a little bit... Sorry, this smoke here, like this. Just your basic smokes. It's nothing special. That way, if they come out, again, making the smoke flush with the wall like that. So if they come out, they kill you, they can't refrag on anyone else, if that makes sense. They can get another kill, or it's easy to get away, if that makes sense. So yeah, just doing that basic smoke. If you're playing from sight and they're really rushing you, get that smoke down, all right? And also, if you're playing sight and you know that it's just an A hit from this side, all you want to be doing is this smoke as well, all right? I mean, it's that basic. It's just these 2 smokes if you're playing from sight. Shadows traveling. I'll get into more detail of like cool one-way smokes that you can do, but these are just the 2 basic smokes for defending if they're pushing hard, okay? But if you're wanting to take some aggression to them on A from this side, there's a couple of cool smokes that you can do. So the first smoke that I recommend doing is doing what a sort of an aggressive smoke to just stop them from pushing straight away. And it means that your team can get up into these corners so that you can maybe get into this corner and someone plays behind door and flashes through the smoke for you. Or if they're pushing, this guy comes out door and distracts and you take them out as they're rushing past. This is more of an aggressive smoke. It's just a basic smoke, but it helps and it works. You can also do it here as well if you don't feel comfortable going all the way up there. This, if you do this one, it means that you can actually get inside the smoke and come over this side and make sort of like a weird one-way smoke, get a kill, come into the smoke, TP away like that sort of thing, you know? There's actually a cool one-way smoke that I recommend doing. It's actually really sick. All you do is make the smoke, see how the green arrow on my E is there? Just make it so that it goes there, right there, and put it about there. It doesn't have to be perfect this one way. And you can see here that it creates a absolutely insane one way. You can get wall bang from this. It's not ideal, but you can probably one way to about here. Then you just kill them as they push, and then you just go back, maybe with a flash in case anyone's close, and you go out. Simple. If they're doing some sort of split with these 2 here, I guess what you could do is do like a defensive smoke there and maybe play a little bit more aggressively. If they see this smoke out as they're coming through door, they might go up the ladder, which means you can come up behind him, you know, and kill him, that sort of thing. It also gives you a nice advantage over this smoke for anyone peeking onto site if you kill the guy that pushes door by himself. Something like that. There's also a really sick one way that you can do here. It's useful. I'd say it's more useful for attackers though, but you can use this smoke here. All you do is you put the smoke up there like that, and you've got a nasty one-way smoke like here. That's actually crazy. It's such a good one-way smoke. If you're playing from here, I wouldn't recommend it. Maybe if you got a sage that wall was there, so that they have to go through the door, then this smoke is unbelievable. You can one-way to about here probably.
There's one aim in. I'm going for him,
Shadows traveling. One on you, no.
When it comes to defending A dish, so we've talked about A defending, you know, A main and A door. When it comes to defending A dish, the thing that I like to do is smoke here and smoke here and go into this smoke. It keeps them guessing, right? So they might think that you're in the smoke or they might not. I mean, it's that simple. So you go into this smoke, you catch them as they're walking through the smoke. Then you can maybe flash away like that and then, you know, jump, I don't know, you know, like TP on the side, something like that, okay? Doing those 2 smokes is pretty good. So far I haven't found any one-ways here because obviously the guide it's a brand new guide, so I might do an update one. This doesn't work. It doesn't go low enough. You could probably do one here that would work, but the problem is they spawn pretty much right there. Like that would work if you hold it like this, but like there's nothing there, you know? So it's a bit dodgy. You could probably do this. This is a cool one-way. It would work. This is a one-way. So I guess you could do that for the one-ways. It's not ideal, but it gets the job done, right? Another thing that you can do is, as they're pushing, if they're pushing fast, all you need to do is just click there so you know exactly where to flash. If they're pushing, you just do that flash and you peek off your flash sort of thing, you know? That sort of thing. That's the only things that you can really do with Dash. There's not a lot. Defending B. Now, defending B is actually really difficult. It's, for me, the hardest site. I don't play Omen on B, but I actually found a couple of one-way smokes on B. I think there's one really good one-way smoke that you can use. Pegasus, shout out to Rick's GG Pegasus for actually showing me that. There are smokes that you can do like up here, but they don't really work. They look like a one-way. Like, I know that looks like a one-way, but it isn't, because their POV, you know, they can fully see down here. It's not a one-way at all. So if you're defending B, I guess the only two areas that they can come from is here. So usually I like to get someone playing aggressive and taking this a duo with an AWP, ideally. Yeah, so the thing that you could do is maybe just smoke this side off if you're playing this area, and sort of like coming around this edge and holding the edge like this, or peeking the smoke like that sort of thing. Be creative with your smokes. Do these sort of things. Or maybe go into your smoke, and as they're pushing, you know, do a flash as they're pushing and then TP behind them. That sort of thing. You can do little things like that. If you want to play super aggro though, you can just do the smoke like this. Make sure you've got a bit of the smoke so that you can go into it. So you get into the smoke like that, and if you hear them rushing, they come through the smoke. You get one, you get two, you pull out your flash, you go out the smoke, they're blind. Then you can get into that corner a lot easier, and you can make a play behind them, that sort of thing. So I guess you could do that for defending. I think, honestly, unless you're playing from sight, you want to be playing aggressive on this map, okay? Doing this smoke, get inside the smoke. Doing this one, playing around the smoke on the left, that sort of thing. If you're defending this area, it's a little bit more difficult. I'd leave this up to the Jetts, because their barrier is right there, I'm pretty sure. And you don't, by the time that they are here, you're probably going to get to here. So you're not able to do a smoke here and make a play. So what I recommend doing is just smoking the bottom of this staircase, honestly. There's not a lot more you can do. And maybe playing inside it, getting a flash out, you know, flashing and then peeking, killing the flashers, and then go back. That's all you can really do when it comes to B, with the basic smokes. B is more for a Jett, because Jett can confidently peek this, get the kill with the AWP, and bounce, not bounce back, dash back. There is a really cool one-way smoke though that you can do if you're holding up from here, from what's it called? From tower. So this smoke was from Pegasus, but you have to do it in this view. It's the easiest to do it in this view. You see these two little dots here. There's one here and there's one here. The second dot is what we're interested in, okay? So if you're up in tower, and you'll get used to where the dot is, if you just do it so that it's like there, put it a little bit higher, probably about there. If you stand all the way back to here in tower, this is a nasty one-way smoke. We tried it earlier on. They can't see you at all, and they're walking up. Just trust me, this one-way smoke works. I sadly don't have a clip of this smoke in particular because we were a bit limited for time in the event. So yeah, when it comes to attacking B, we'll do that first because this is personally my hardest site to attack. I absolutely hate attacking B and I hate defending B. It's kind of like Breeze, where you just never really play B as an Omen, but it's viable. It definitely is viable. But yeah, so the default smokes that you want to be doing for your team is as follows. So if you're coming up from this side on B, the two smokes that you probably want to be doing is smoking off the CT areas so that you can fully focus on site. So you probably want to be smoking off here, and you want to be smoking off, I'd say here, because that way, if your team is coming up from this way on attackers, they're not getting exposed to this behind Gen, and they're not getting exposed to the guys here as well. And also, if you're pushing up from here, you're not getting exposed from CT area, and also deep CT when the smoke disappears. This is deep CT. So these guys pushing up this way will be exposed from there if you did the smoke in CT. So if you did like that smoke in CT, sure, it sort of helps the guys coming out here, but like there's a gap there and stuff. It wouldn't help the guys that are pushing out from here because there's a bit of a weird sort of corridor there that they can just shoot from. So I think if you're gonna attack B, basically, like with the two basic smokes, is just the two CT smokes, and unless you fully focus on site as you're attacking. There are some like cool smoke like plays that you can do once you've got the site, I guess. Or if you want to, if you're playing like a kind of solo styled Omen, I guess you could, you know, smoke this smoke gen, you know, flash deep CT, and then like TP onto gen. Something like that, you know? And then like maybe hold until you hear his footsteps and then peek out as they're pushing, get a free kill, that sort of thing. And then maybe you can even TP back to your team. Like, you can do that. There is the opportunity. We just haven't had a lot of time on the map yet. Attacking A as Omen is like my favorite thing personally to do. It's just fun. I don't really know another way to like to explain it, but for me it's just fun. I never really attack from this angle though. I usually attack from the drop angle because there's some cool TPs that you can do from there. But this way still works for Omen. I mean, his flash gets to the angle where an AWPer would be. So if there's an AWPer there, you know, just run, flash, and then peek, that sort of thing. You can also smoke off this and like bait it out. So if you smoke that and then do that so that you're not getting killed by the AWPer who's up here. So that allows you to like bait it without going out. So you just walk over when the smoke's there and then do that. But yeah, in terms of attacking, if your team's pushing up with you, the basic smokes that you want to be doing, if your team isn't coming from drop, you can smoke drop, but you have to be very careful at how you smoke it. If you're going to smoke drop, I think you need to smoke it like this so that it's not letting the smoke drop all the way down so that they can jump out, because if they jump out from that, their feet are going to be showing on the ground. So you need to, if you're going to do that smoke, you need to do it perfectly like that. Any other way though, if your team is coming from drop as well, you just do the basic smokes. You do the CT smoke like that,
Cover going out.
and you do the smoke like this. There's a reason why you do the smoke like that. I know that it looks it's exposing this area, but you don't need to be out this far to get onto site. Does that make sense? We can go up here and we can get onto site without them seeing with this smoke. If you put this smoke like this,
Shadows traveling. Cover going out.
yeah, it looks great, right? That looks like a solid wall of smokes. But if your team is coming from drop, so if your team is coming from drop as well, they're exposed to this. They're fully exposed to rope and they're dead. It's as simple as that. They're dead if they come out from drop. If you do that smoke for them, these two smokes, they're dead from rope. That's why if you do the CT smoke like that, and this smoke like this here, it means, think about it, you're like challenging or whatever on site. You're challenging the guys on site together. These are all wall bangable, remember? That is too. You're challenging these guys on site. You just flash them. And you can go up here and look. You're still protected by this smoke. But why is that smoke so good? What's the point in that? So the whole point in that smoke, he says, is he can make the simplest jump, boys. It's late, alright? It's late. The whole point in that smoke is so that people in drop can actually get out without being shot from the rope area. That's literally the whole point in it. Also, if they drop down once site's cleared like this, they get a one-way smoke pretty much instantly. Okay, so if you're coming from drop, you know that you've got a one-way smoke there instantly. It's a no-brainer, you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense not to do the smokes like that. If you're coming from drop and A main, do these two smokes instead. You don't need the other smoke. If no one's coming from drop, sure, you can do that smoke here. If your team isn't coming from drop either, you can do that smoke 100%. This smoke's just so much better. Just the value you get out of it for the people in drop. They're not going to get shot. And it also means that they get a one-way smoke as they drop down like this. They get a sick one-way smoke as they drop down. Attacking A from dish side is pretty difficult. It's not ideal for Omen, but the flash does work on both angles that they will be on. So maybe if you tell your team, I'll flash the right, and then you peek the guy on the left sort of thing. So if you tell your team, I'm going to flash the right side of dish, and then your teammate can just wide swing the guy on the left. So you can actually do that together, because Omen, you can run the flash. As soon as that hits him, you both peek this guy, and maybe you can like TP behind here and get like you can get quickly kill him, and you know, little things like that. But yeah, if you're attacking, just make sure you're checking your corners up here. And then again, if you're the Omen player coming from A, which obviously you are because you're watching the guide. I'm tired, boys, I'm tired. Then you do this smoke because it allows you and your team to get out from drop without being shot from ropes. You put the CT smoke because that helps your team on site. You can flash pretty much the whole site, the whole left side, to help your team. And then that means that you can jump. Yeah, of course you can't go there, Omen. That means you can go into here, like so. And it also means that you can jump into rope as well from here. So that's like a little TP play, I guess, that you can do. You just need to get the TPs down, because we know how Omen is. We know how temperamental Omen does. So say your teammates are pretty much on site. They're still fighting, but they're pretty much on site. Then you can maybe do this double TP here and catch off the rotators and CT, something like that.